Hello survivors and welcome to another video. In today's video we hopping back onto Soulstone survivors, and for today's video we have the master of the beasts, the Beastmaster. Now the reason I'm saying it that way is, well, we playing a beast only summons build, so every single skill that we use is going to be a summon, but we are not going to be using any of the necromancer summons. It's all going to be summons that the Beastmaster can get naturally. So our build is going to be Cave Bear, Swamp Boar, War Tiger, Battle Moose, Shockwave Totem and Cobra Totem. If we cannot get the Cobra Totem or the Shockwave Totem, the 6th skill or one of the skills can be swapped out for Bestial Wrath, which is a buff to the summons. Now, in terms of weapon choices, we have decided to use Bone Crusher just because of the extra damage and the extra health with a bit of block power. This one actually gives us less, Nature's Fury gives us less HP and less cast frequency, and then the Wild Cleaver doesn't give us any benefits whatsoever. So we're taking Bone Crusher, and then for our runes we are running Executioner for the extra damage per negative effect on enemies. So now you know we're going to be building as the different negative effects like burn, chill, burn, slow, fragility and all of that. We do have weapon expert so that we start off using Cave Bear as well, because we are using the Bone Crusher weapon. Unconventional start, so we can roll for another summons right from the beginning. We are running Unexpected Arsenal so that we are able to get absolutely every single one of his weapon skills, so that will be Swamp Boar as well as the Cobra Totem. And then we've just threw in Divine Legacy over here because when it comes to summons, legendaries for them are mostly all the time increased amounts of units, so we are going to hopefully try and hit those. But we are going to be running in the caves of Del Zog today on curse 7, intensity 48. So let's get straight into it. Again, we are going to wait till we get another summon, so that's perfect. We got ourselves Moose, and the nice thing about these summons is we don't have to turn down the quality of the SFX or anything like that, or maybe when you get like Cobra Totem or Shockwave Totem we will have to, but if we don't get Shockwave Totem we should be able to keep our special effects on the entire run and our graphics relatively high, because it doesn't get as messy as some of the other skills. Now we are going to run cast frequency, one because Cave Bears has an insane amount of cooldown, so we do want to increase that to be quite a lot, because they do buff your other minions as well as yourself, increasing our damage as well as our maximum health. So we do want to have them up all of the time. We don't want to die or have them die to the void presence either, so we do have to keep that out over here. Now over here we did receive both of them, so we are going to lock the one, and then we will take the swamp boar over there. So far so good. Everything looks like it is working out according to plan. This is fantastic because sometimes it is a lot harder to hit everything you are looking for when you are playing with specific builds. But before we continue with that, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday we put out a video, a giveaway on the channel. It doesn't seem like a lot of you landed up getting it recommended to you or seeing it, so I will link it down in the description for you to go take a look on it. It is on the game called Spirit Hunters Infinite Horde, and we are doing a giveaway to celebrate their release out of early access, or their full release coming tomorrow. So please do go take a look at that and have your chance of winning the game if you didn't have it already. But now that that's out of the way, my own little sponsorship is out of the way. Let's carry on over here. So again, we are going to land up getting all of these, but over here we are going to grab that. Just for filler, we are going to grab the Bestial Wrath like I did mention, and then here we are going to be grabbing all of these. Now, very interesting thing over here, I don't know how we're getting the poisonous blood, because as far as I know, None of these have bleed in them. Oh, never mind, we've got Shockwave Totem. I was being a bit silly over there. I did completely forget about that. And then we're just gonna re-roll a little bit. Come on, please, just give me good luck over here. There we go, fantastic. So we're going to take the multicast as well. Multicast on summons is very important. The only, well, I say it's very important. The only reason it is important is because if your summons do land up getting killed by, let's say, the Void Presence, and you have to resummon them, and then you are going to resummon a whole lot of them at a single time. Instead of, let's say, only 2 War Tigers, you could summon all 6 of them at once, and it's just that extra, you know, okay, well, let's kill quickly because they all now up again, so we can start killing again very quickly. But that's the only reason why we do it, otherwise we wouldn't worry too much about it. But we are going to keep our skills running because, again, this one was just a filler. We are still going to be looking for our summon Cobra Totem when it does eventually show up. If it doesn't show up, not the end of the world. That is why we do have optional Bestial Wrath taken in the build as well. And now the best thing about the build is we are literally AFKing, so we just have to worry about where we run, but anything else we don't have to worry about attacking. We don't have to really worry too much about where we are because our minions are going to be tanking all of the bosses, unless we land up running right next to them, then it's not going to tank anything. But as long as we are within the vicinity, we are in a very good spot, and they do a whack ton of damage. So first things first is, you know, you got to think to yourself, well, Broken, which one's going to be doing the most amount of damage? Because that's a very important question to ask. You know, which minion should we focus on if we're going for this build? And the answer there is whichever one you like the most. So every single one of them deals a lot of damage. You don't have to really worry about, you know, one being better than the other. All of them are very good, and the best thing to do is to actually just use, you know, make sure you get all of them buffed up as much as possible. Now, although we do have Cobra Totem that does poison, we want absolutely everything to poison, so we are going to grab one Venomous over there. Then we're going to go for the damage on absolutely everything, and here you go, the first one. So we've got quite a lot happening over here. Do we want the multicast? I do think area and damage are probably more. Ooh, okay, so I don't have a lot of locks over here, so I think we're going to lock area, and we're only going to take damage. We're not too worried about the Shockwave Totem over there. These are the legendary ones we're looking for specifics, but otherwise we're going to be looking for other things pertaining to that are more important. So fantastic, a legendary right off the bat over there. After we've got ourselves the +1, we then got a +2. So it looks like, you know, the way that our Shockwave Totem has decided to present itself for us today, it will probably be doing a huge chunk of the damage for us. So again, like I said, every single one of them is very, very good. The summons are fantastic because of being able to take the aggro from the bosses, and then also just doing so much or dishing out so much damage for you with as little effort as possible. So again, you just have to go and level up whichever one is your favorite, or focus on your favorite. But in the end, the game is RNG, so it doesn't really matter which one is your favorite. The only time you'd be able to focus on your favorite one is if you played only with that one. So otherwise, you're going to be looking at just going for whatever the game gives you and moving forward that way. So it looks like for us, the game is specifically going for Shockwave Totem. That's a little bit of a not so friendly one. I would have preferred some of the other ones, but again, not the end of the world. Shockwave Totem is still very, very strong here. So I'm not unhappy about it, but any of the other ones, for me personally, would have been better. But a summon's a summon, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. If we were looking at all of them, the best one to probably get would be War Tiger. Battle Moose doesn't do as much damage, but it's very, very tanky. Otherwise, even Swamp Boar is fantastic to have there as well. So Swamp Boar or War Tigers are probably the best ones. Cave Bears are nice because they're tanky and they're healers. I mean, not healers, they've got buffs. And then the Mooses are just nice because they are very tanky as well. So, you know, that's what you would get each one for. That's what they're based on. Mooses, very tanky creatures along with the bears. Bears are buffers, so you know, the more you have, the more you're going to be able to buff your team. Cobra Totem are there to poison and deal damage, with Shockwave Totem bleeding and dealing damage. And then the War Tigers and the Swamp Boars bleed and rot, even though War Tigers don't mention bleed in their build or in their tagging. They actually do apply bleed onto enemies as well. Very weird that that does happen. It's not something that is mentioned, but it does happen. And you know, just in case you didn't know, now you do. Alright, so we already killed or killing Chaosbringer, which is good because he's probably, him and Prophetess are the worst ones to deal with. Again, because of their huge AoEs, a lot to dodge coming from them, which is just irritating nonetheless. But as you can see, we make short work of them. Our Shockwave Totems are creating you know, a mess absolutely everywhere. And it does turn out that you know, because we're playing summons, I thought that our SFX were up, but they're actually not. They are still completely down. Well, not completely down, but they are down quite a bit. And we just got ourselves a legendary area of effect there as well. So I believe that was the second one we've already picked up, which is fantastic. And then as you can see, all the bosses down. And the build isn't the fastest, so don't expect to do this in a huge, you know, lack of time, because summons do, unless you're using like a bug with the crit rune, then you know, then you'll finish in no time. But this is damage without the bug. This is what their normal damage would be looking like. And as you can see, Shockwave Totem just going mad over there for some reason, completely shocking the whole system. And it's just quite funny to see that it can do that. So it's not something that you'd normally see, because I don't think a lot of people do actually take Shockwave Totem. And then it just looks like when you have a lot of them, they can do some craziness on the screen. So I know a lot of people have done like 6 Chaos Totems and things like that, but I don't think anyone's ever given Shockwave Totem or Cobra Totem the love that they need and deserve. So maybe if you do like the totem skills, try and give them a look. They do look like they are quite interesting in terms of the damage that they're dealing over there. But here we go, we got a nice double legendary over there. So we, again, multicast not that important, and oh my goodness, that's so unfortunate. I don't think we'll have time to even get the other one, so we will actually lock that. Grab that, that is beautiful. And then again, we're gonna just work on more crit and a little bit more life over there. But that was 3 extra battle mooses, which means that we're doing a lot more damage with them now, which is fantastic. And we've only got one more boss fight to go, so that's why we didn't really worry about the what was it, that's why we didn't really worry too much about locking or the next set of legendaries and keeping that last lock for it, because we're not going to hit another 25 levels before the end of the game. So that's why I decided to just lock the quantity 1 of the battle moose. If I knew that we were going into overlord cycles or into endless, I would have kept that 1 single lock for our next legendary guaranteed items. But very, very strong build, as you can see, but very, very slow, because they do have to kind of chip away at the health, and you do have to know your tethering with the minions. But they are a lot stronger than what they used to be, and the new skill tree is going to make this fantastic. And as soon as we get the passive skill tree for the Beastmaster, this is going to be 100 times stronger. So very, very cool. 8 minutes 15 seconds, not a bad time, but not the fastest time either, but a very, very easy and relaxing time nonetheless. So there we go, War Tigers, Shockwave Totem, Cobra Totem dealing a lot of damage, but you can see that the damage is completely spread out. There wasn't one that dealt a whack ton more damage than others. You don't get that skill doing 40 million damage like you do in some other builds. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And always remember, keep safe, survivors. Until next time, cheers.